Yes. Okay. Ida.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Sinisha. So I will be teaching biology for the second. So all of you are from different schools. I hope I think so. Yeah. So science, as you know, is divided as physics, chemistry, and biology. Here we will be taking as separate subjects and your school takes also the biology. So most of the schools have the same pattern. Biology will be taken by me and very cool subjects, physics and chemistry will be taken. You can hear me or I shall give you the marks. Okay, stand here. Okay. So biology will be taken by me, whereas remaining two subjects will be taken by some other person. So whereas you will be getting a collective paper as a science for the class. So all of you are also CBSE board exam. So all of you know science how many total marks is 80 marks. So usually biology will be taking around 24 to 25 marks. Okay, biology and physics will be having equal number of marks, whereas chemistry will be having 1 or 2 marks lesser than physics and biology. Okay, so almost equally will be taken. And I think so. Hope all of you know the pattern. What is the pattern? So 16 marks are there for 1 mark questions. So 16 marks are there for 1 mark. Please write down. Overall paper, 16 marks are there for 1 mark. Okay, it can be a multiple choice, it can be a fill in the blank, it can be a assertion and reasoning, or it can be even a match the following also. Anything they can give you, or simple 1 mark question also. So those are 16 marks. Okay. Next 16 marks are for case studies. Case studies. So they usually will get around 4 case studies. Okay. In each case study will be carrying 4 marks. So altogether how many? 32 marks. Remaining are for your 3 marks questions and 5 marks. 5 marks will be writing around 3 questions. So remaining are 3 marks. So this is your pattern. So what is the main focus for you? You see your marks. 1 mark, 32 marks are in your own hands. Means you need to read properly your textbook. Please don't follow any guides. My suggestion is don't follow any guides. Your school will be tailoring you. Again, you will be learning here the concept what we are trying to tell you. So follow your teacher, and we are not telling don't follow your teacher. If your teacher teaches well, you follow her also. You follow here also. You note down. I will be presenting most of the biology in the PowerPoints only because most of you have mathematics. I want to show you all the slides in one way. Okay, and so take note of what we are telling you. Open your textbook. You feel you will underline the points. I know how many things that I'm teaching you. Okay, so open your textbook. Underline the important points. After the each chapter, I will be discussing the important questions in the chapter. After chapter questions also. Okay, and write if possible when I am teaching. You also write running notes. Running notes is a very important habit. Okay, some things what we try to give a proper definitions will be in textbook. There will be no clarity of the definitions. Okay, please note down all those things which are not in the textbook. Again, I not. Please note down when I am teaching. And if you feel the pattern is different, because there will be a variation from a teacher to teacher. Okay, the school teacher teaches in a different way. Try try to tell me where you want to address the issue. We can go in individually, we can go in that pattern if it's necessary. Okay. So coming to the biology. Okay, I'm basically Sirisha. I am working at IITM, Indian Institute of Technology, Madras. I will be taking only part-time classes. So basically, for biology, you will be having 6 chapters. Okay. This year they have budget 30% portion. All those benefits will not be paid for you. Definitely, will be having a proper CBSE exams and pattern will be there. For this year, students we don't know what will be happening. So, 4 chapters are the what are those chapters? Is life processes, control and coordination, how do organisms reproduce, heredity and evolution, our environment, and the last natural management of natural resources. All these 6 chapters comes under the biology. So today we will be starting with the life process. So what do you know about the life process? What do you understand by the life process? Keep your mask. Don't nobody remove your mask. Because I cannot hear me. What is meant by life process? Process where the organism can be alive. What is the process? Do all the organisms have that process? Huh? What is an organism? First, okay, we have started with the organism. No? What is an organism? Living means what you tell is as a living. Huh? What you why we are called living things? Huh? So repeatedly again that, but I am asking what is that? Why we are called living? I don't know. Hey, one time switch on. This fan is ability to move. Okay. Then robots also can. They breathe. Okay. There are many things that can breathe also. Who can breathe? Who can reproduce? Only living organisms can reproduce. Because we have an ability to reproduce. Okay, organisms that can be able to reproduce, organisms that can have consciousness, means they can decide. We have the consciousness. Okay, organisms which have a well-developed reproductive system. So all these are called as the living organisms. Okay, coming to the life process. So when we tell a living organism, next there will be a life process. It varies from organism to organism. Okay, it varies from organism to organism. Simple unicellular organisms. Unicellular means single cell organisms. They have very simple process. Very simple. Everything will be taking excretion or intake or throwing out anything. Digestion or anything will be taking in that single cell. So they don't have a well-developed organ system or organs or tissues. Whereas we multicellular, we are called as multicellular organisms. Examples, we humans. Okay, we have a well-developed system, a complex system. Okay, usually we call ourselves as eukaryotes. So eukaryotes can be from a single cell like this, or it can be up to a multicellular like we humans, animals, plants, everything comes as the eukaryotes. Okay, so each one we have, for example, human beings, the eukaryotes or mammalians, we have a well-developed system. Means we are not single cell. We have multiple cells, and this multiple cells forms into tissues, and the tissues forms into organs like liver, kidney. All these are the heart. All these are the organs. And we have a well-developed digestive system. Sorry, well-developed organ system. Okay, organ system means digestive system, excretory system, circulatory system. All these are the transport system. All these are the different types of the organ systems. Okay, so why we require this organ system? To maintain our physiological conditions of our body. What are the physiological conditions? For example, temperature, body temperature. We have a constant body temperature. If the body temperature is not maintained, what will happen? We may get a fever, we may get inflammation, or organs may be not working properly. Due to that, we may get different types of disease. So everything, the biological, physiological conditions of the body should be maintained. Okay, so all these complex is nothing but the life process. In this chapter, we are going to talk in detail about the different organ systems. Along with the nutrition, we'll be talking in detail about the different organ systems in relation to human beings as well as with the plants. Okay, so today I'll be giving you a small introduction. Based on that, from next class onwards, we'll be going in detail. So these are the different life processes, that is growth, digestion, respiration, circulation, excretion. All these are considered as the life process. So what is the basic definition of the life process? You can underline this in your textbooks also. You can underline, you can keep both aside. I'll go a bit slower so that you will follow. The basic functions performed by a living organisms for their survival and body maintenance is called life process. It's in the first page itself. Next line may not be the same, or you can write it down. It not be there in the last that paragraph. See next page. You are able to find? You can tell them the page number. Top second line. So the basic function performed by a living organisms for their survival and body maintenance is called as a life process. And why and for performing all this life process, what is the most important thing? Anybody of us prefer walking or running or jumping or sleeping or whatever, or if even eating of food, what is the most important thing we require? Energy. So to carry on this life process, we require energy, and from where it is provided? It's provided by the food we take, that is the nutrition. And by using the oxidation and reduction reactions, the larger molecules are broken down to simple substances. Means, for example, we take a potato as a food. What does the potato contain? Carbohydrates. Or if we go more specific, as she told, it's starch. Starch is one form of a carbohydrate. Okay, this starch is a very big body. It is like a big block. Okay, that we can directly, the body, our tissues cannot absorb that big block. It should be broken down into pebbles. Only pebbles can be absorbed. So starch should be broken down into glucose. Okay, glucose is a simple sugar, whereas starch is a complex sugar or carbohydrate. You can call it's like a sugar. Sugars can be called as a carbohydrate. More terminology is carbohydrate. So it is a simple sugar, whereas this is a complex one. So the starch should be broken down into sugar. Then only the body can be able to absorb and will be able to get the energy. So to perform this breakdown, means breaking of larger molecules to smaller molecules, done by an oxidative and reduction reaction. This is a 1 mark question. So we'll be starting with nutrition. As we know, what is nutrition? Whatever the food we intake is known as the nutrition. Okay, what is nutrition? The food whatever we take is known as the nutrition. So the nutrition, the first topic for in the life process is the nutrition. So nutrition, once listen, again I give you all time, then you can write. Okay, first listen, I'll give you all time. Okay. So nutrition can be divided into 2 parts. Okay. So the nutrition can be divided into 2 parts. First one is autotrophs, second one is heterotrophs. So what are autotrophs? You just tell me what are, don't see the slide. You tell me by yourself. You must be learning this, no? What are autotrophs? Organisms which prepare their own food are autotrophs. Heterotrophs? Don't write one of your answer. I did not go for the induction session. Just tell your name and so that I will habituate. Only plants? Depend on other organisms, not plants. Okay, they can depend on plants or other organisms. Those are known as heterotrophs. So the nutrition, where the this type of a nutrition, autotrophs nutrition is known as autotrophic nutrition, whereas heterotrophs nutrition is known as the heterotrophic nutrition. The examples are for autotrophs usually plants and some blue-green algae also. Okay, in blue-green algae or cyanobacteria we call them. Whereas in case of heterotrophs, all of us comes as the most of the eukaryotes and also few prokaryotes also comes as the heterotrophs. Okay, so auto means self, troph means feed. So using simple or inorganic substance and either light energy or it can be a chemical energy, they will be synthesizing food. Okay, by using simple inorganic substance and by using 2 different types of energy. Some plants usually use light energy, whereas there are few bacteria, as I told you, they will be using some chemical energy. Okay, by using either light energy or chemical energy, they can prepare their food, and the organisms which can prepare their food are known as autotrophs. As I told you, examples are green plants and blue-green algae. Blue-green algae is also known as cyanobacteria. Okay. Next one, second one is heterotrophs. Heterotrophs that obtain energy through intake and digestion of organic substance. So those they depend on the other organisms, and by intaking those organic substance and by digesting them, they will be able to have their nutrition. This type of nutrition is known as the heterotrophic nutrition, and all of this are the different tiger, everything, and the food chain. I have just given a food chain which will be reading later in detail in another chapter. So this excuse me. So this type of nutrition is known as the heterotrophic nutrition. Now coming to the autotrophic nutrition. So the best example where the autotrophs prepare their food is example. First I ask plants. How they prepare their food? Photosynthesis. Can you tell me who first discovered photosynthesis? It's not in the textbooks. Anybody? General knowledge. Huh? No, Indian. Write down. Write the question. Next. Yes. Google it. And it's in your 7th or 8th class science textbook, if you remember. It's already given for you. But you forgot all of us forgot. So the photosynthesis. So what is photosynthesis? This is the proper definition of the photosynthesis. The process by which the green plants make their own food with the help of oxygen and with the help of carbon dioxide and water in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight is called photosynthesis. What is the definition? The process by which the green plants make their own food with the help of carbon dioxide and water in presence of chlorophyll and sunlight is called a photosynthesis. Now, just think. You will know what is a cell. Am I right? So the cell, this is a plant. Okay. The plant cell usually have a cell wall. Okay. There will be a cell wall outside. So inside the cell, there will be a nucleus. All this. There will be ribosomes, small ribosomes. There will be other Golgi complex and all those. Those are different. You don't need to worry because you have studied in your 9th class. All the Golgi complex, plastids, everything. So the plant usually have a chloroplast. Whereas animals have? Huh? They don't have a chloroplast. They don't have a plastids. They have a mitochondria. Okay. Inside this chloroplast, there will be chlorophylls. This is the site where the photosynthesis takes place. So whatever the diagram I have kept is a cross section of a leaf. Okay, so it's a cross section of the leaf. So you can see over here. First on the top layer is the cuticle. Okay, bottom layer is the epidermis. Below it is the chloroplast. These yellow things are the chloroplast. Okay, and inside the chloroplast, the green pigment is the chlorophyll. This is the site where the photosynthesis takes place. So now you tell me, and these are known as the mesophyll cells. Okay, you can see this one will be in the form of a bundles, one will be in form of the sheets. So they are known as a mesophyll cell. And this is given in your diagram. Usually if they ask you the TS of the leaf, you need to draw it. In some books, the diagram is not proper. I don't know the new edition. They have given gaps. Gaps will not be there. In the mesophyll cells, this chloroplast, there are gaps present. Okay, this is the proper diagram. There is a small correction in few older textbooks. It's very clear, whereas newer textbook, we have a small correction in the figure. So you can see here, this is the chloroplast. These are known as the bundles. Bundle mesophyll, these are known as palisade parenchyma, whereas the bottom ones with the dark green color, where I'm putting the arrow, they are known as spongy parenchyma. Together, they are known as the mesophylls. Okay, whereas the lower one is known as the lower epidermis, and you can see a small opening in the lower epidermis. That is known as the stomata. Okay, so again I'll tell you, first one, this is the TS of a leaf. So in the upper is the cuticle, below it is the epidermis, which we call it as the upper epidermis. Below it is the palisade parenchyma. Below the palisade parenchyma, we have the spongy parenchyma. Okay, or we call it as a sheath. Only you can simply remember sporin. Together, collectively, we call as mesophyll cells. And in between, you see a small thing, no? This is known as a vascular bundle, because xylem and phloem will be present in the plants. You know the transport. So this is the vascular bundle containing the xylem and phloem. And the last line is the lower epidermis, and in between the gap is known as the stomata. So where does the photosynthesis takes place? It takes place in the green pigments which are present in the chloroplast. Okay, the chloroplast green pigments are present. In that place, the photosynthesis takes place. If we go in specific, now where does the photosynthesis take place? First, what you will think? You think you are in class 7. Where it takes place, photosynthesis? Leaves. Now just improve yourself with what I do. Where does the photosynthesis take place? Huh? Chloroplasts of the leaf. If we go more specific, it will be taking place in the chloroplasts which are present in the mesophyll cells of the leaves. Will be taking place inside the chloroplasts which are present in the mesophyll cells of the leaf, because it's in your figure. A diagram was given in your textbook. Okay, you need to know that point. Although it's not in your key what they put, but you can write it. So they have given their mesophyll cells. What they have given. It takes place inside the chloroplast present in the mesophyll cells of the leaf. So before going to the reaction, what are the raw materials required? What are those? What are the raw materials required for photosynthesis? Carbon dioxide and water. And what is the site of photosynthesis? As we have told, site of photosynthesis, chloroplast. And what is the pigment present in the chloroplast? Chlorophyll. Actually, this is the exact place where the photosynthesis takes place. Okay. So this is the proper reaction for the photosynthesis. If they ask you photosynthesis reaction, you should write in the chemical reaction. And write down the names at the bottom. Don't write a theoretical reaction. You should write a chemical reaction. 6CO2 plus 6H2O in presence of light and chlorophyll will be giving rise to C6H12O6, which is also known as sugar or glucose. Okay, and oxygen 6CO2. It should be a balanced chemical reaction. And always this reaction was asked as a 1 mark. Previously there used to be a 2 mark question also, either as 2 marks or a part of a 3 mark question also. So the carbon dioxide will react with water, will be giving rise to sugar, or you can put a slash glucose and oxygen. first lesson, then I will be. So now before going to the next process, now we have studied the TS of the leaf. Let us see how the chloroplast looks like. Okay, so it's in your textbook, it's not there. For your understanding only, I have kept this figure. This figure does not come for your exam. Okay, so this is the chloroplast. Chloroplast is a double membrane structure. I think so all of you have studied in your 9th class. So this is a double membrane structure. Inside this double membrane structure, there's no laser actually. So this is a double membrane structure. And inside this double membrane structure, you can see a points like this. These are known as thylakoids. Okay, so they are stacked upon one above the other, like a stack of coins. The stack of coins are known as thylakoids. And each thylakoid is connected to each other by this small thing. Small yellow color thing is there, no? That is known as the lamin. So thylakoids are connected to each other by a small connecting thing that is known as lamin. Okay, all these are present inside a matrix. Okay, all this is a matrix. Remaining all is a matrix. So this is known as this inside the matrix. They are present. So coming now, you are able to understand. So the photosynthesis is divided into two parts. If you go in specific, light reaction and the dark reaction. Okay, light reaction takes place inside the thylakoids. That is the grana region. We call inside the thylakoid is known as grana. We don't need to go in specific. It takes place inside the thylakoids. Whereas means it requires light. Whereas dark reaction does not require light. Okay, it takes place inside the lumen, inside the matrix. So here, this part, the dark reaction takes place. Whereas in this part, the light reaction takes place. You're able to understand? So if we divide the photosynthesis, we can divide it into two parts, light reaction and dark reaction. Okay, light reaction takes place in the thylakoid of the chloroplast, whereas dark reaction takes place in the matrix of the chloroplast. Okay, so the light reaction requires light, whereas dark reaction does not require any light. Okay, so the light reaction is known as photochemical reaction or light dependent reaction, whereas dark reaction is known as the Kelvin cycle or a biosynthetic reaction or a light independent reaction. Dark reaction is also known as Kelvin cycle or a biochemical reaction or light independent reaction. So what will happen in the light reaction? What will happen in the dark reaction? In the light reaction, the first product, that is oxygen is first oxygen is, okay. In the light reaction, by using the light energy, first the oxygen is formed. Okay. In dark reaction, the sugar molecule is formed. Understood? So in the light reaction, oxygen is formed. And what is the raw material used here? Water. From water, we get the oxygen. What is the raw material used here? In the light reaction, it is water. From water, we get the first product, that is oxygen. Whereas in dark reaction, by using carbon dioxide, that is the second raw material, we get the glucose molecule or the sugar. for the second product. All of you are able to understand? This is slightly in depth. I am telling you apart from the textbook. If you are preparing for NTSC or anything, it will be useful. You are able to understand? Okay? You are not able to understand? No? Listen first. Photosynthesis. What are the two more raw materials required for photosynthesis? Raw materials, water and carbon dioxide. Okay. What are the two products formed? Huh? Oxygen and glucose. So when we divide, now we'll divide the photosynthesis into two parts. Light reaction, dark reaction. Light reaction requires light. Dark reaction, no light is required because it takes place in the matrix. Whereas dark reaction takes place inside the thalamus. Okay. Light reaction, the first product will be formed. That is oxygen. Then the raw material used to form the first product is water. From water, by splitting the water, oxygen is formed. Okay. After oxygen is formed, now the second product, by using carbon dioxide, the second product, that is the glucose, will be formed. Understood? Got it? So this is about, now this is an important 3 marks question. So they asked you to write the process. What? Terabyte. And last, the matrix is known as stroma. Aqueous fluid is known as stroma. If the dark reaction takes place in the stroma. You can write light reaction takes place in the grana region of the thalatoids. Grana, G-R-A-N-A. Whereas dark reaction takes place in the stroma region of the chloroplast. So, explain the process of photosynthesis, or explain how does the photosynthesis happens in the plants. Whatever they ask you, it's in your textbook also. All these 3 points you need to write in this. Put a reaction and write this point. So first thing what will happen always is absorption of light. After absorption of light, now photolysis. Second step will be always photolysis of water. Now the absorbed energy will be used in splitting the water, that is H2O into H plus O electrons plus O to generate oxygen molecule. You don't need to write this reaction. For your understanding, I kept the green. This reaction. Note. Water. Water. So by the absorbed energy, or the absorbed from where we get this energy from the light. Okay, the absorbed energy is used in splitting the water molecule to generate oxygen. Afterwards, the third reaction, third part is, in this process, high energy molecules, that is ATP and NADPH, will be synthesized. So by using this energy, now the carbon dioxide will be reduced to carbohydrates, that is the glucose molecule. Understood? So high energy, after the splitting of oxygen, splitting of water to generate oxygen, high energy molecules, that is ATP and NADPH, will be synthesized. By using these high energy molecules, carbon dioxide will be reduced to form glucose or sugars. I get it. ATP means or otherwise cyclic problem. We'll get it anyway. ATP is adenosine triphosphate or adenine triphosphate. ATP is adenine triphosphate or adenosine triphosphate. You can write it anything. NADPH, nicotinamide, NiCO, PA, MI, MIDE, nicotinamide, dihydrogen phosphate or diphosphate, you can write it anyway, dihydrogen phosphate. Nicotinamide dihydrogen phosphate. You get in this chapter. Your boxes will be there, no? In your yellow boxes. It will be there. Start with some other chapter. In your textbook, page number what, no? 102. Step, please. 102, the yellow box. Don't leave those yellow boxes, those are very important. Okay? So, underline. So these are the 4 steps you need to write when they ask you how the photosynthesis explains or what is the process of photosynthesis. Write in a stepwise manner and also put the reaction. All of you, everything is clear regarding photosynthesis? Any doubts you have? Yourself, your name? Do you have any doubt? Shall I move on to the next slide? Those points are there in your textbook, Nana. Those points are there. Okay. So this is about the photosynthesis. We'll talk about the experiments later. So first we finish off the stomata. So what is the stomata? The openings, small openings present at the lower side of the leaf or in the lower epidermis of the leaf is called as the stomata. The small openings present in the lower epidermis of the leaf is known as stomata. And what's its main function? All of you all know. Exchange of gases. Means it will be taking in what? It will take in carbon dioxide and release
oxygen. Another important thing is loss of water by transpiration. There will be always, as we sweat, plants also sweat. So only you find dewdrops in the morning on the top of the leaves. If you go in, you can see a dewdrops during the morning. Why? Because there is a loss of water through the leaf, through the stomata itself. Okay, so there is a loss of water, and the process of losing water, the terminology is known as transpiration. Transpiration is nothing but the loss of water, and this will help actually in the upward movement of the water. Okay, why transpiration is important? As we sweating is very important for us, transpiration is also important to the plant. Okay, so the loss of water through the stomata is known as the transpiration. And why is transpiration important? Is because from where the water will be, the plants will be taking water from the soil, all the water, organic material, minerals, salts, everything will be taken from the roots. And where they need to go? To the top. Means what they are doing, how they are traveling. Upward direction. Against gravity. Okay, the movement is upward direction against the gravity. So they require some force or some pull is required to how we have motors. Okay, from groundwater, it should go to our tanks. We'll put a motor, we'll give it a force so that the water will be pulled towards the tanks or so whatever it is. Okay, that force or pull is given by transcription. Transcription. We call it as transcriptional pull. Okay, so transpiration. This is known as transpirational pull. So why transpiration is required? It is required for the upward movement of the water. Okay. So now coming to the structure of the stomata. What does the stomata contain? As you can see, it has a small opening in the center, and it is surrounded by what are these? Guard cells. It is surrounded by guard cells. Okay, the bean-shaped cells. They are bean-shaped or kidney-shaped, and those are known as guard cells. Other cells are the surrounding cells that helps the guard cells. So when does the stomata open? When does the stomata close? Why the stomata should be only stomata will be open when the plant requires the raw material. Water usually comes from the roots, but carbon dioxide should take from the surrounding root. So the stomata is required. Okay. So only when it requires the raw material for its food synthesis, then only the stomata will be open. Otherwise, always the stomata openings are closed. Because if it's not closed, there will be huge loss of water. Sweating should happen, but not since settling means what we have. We all ourselves will be dehydrated. The same way the plants also. In summer, you can see. If one day we don't give water to the plants, they will, the leaves usually will be dropping down. Okay, because there is a huge loss of water. Okay, so always the process of opening and closing of the stomata is well regulated. And how it is regulated is with the help of these guard cells. Okay, if these guard cells are filled, okay, if the guard cells also contain chloroplasts, the small round things are nothing but the chloroplasts. If the guard cells are filled with water, okay, then they bulge and they open. Okay, this is called as a turgid state. If the guard cells are not filled with water, means the water is come out from the guard cells, they become flaccid and close. I'll write it down here itself for your understanding. So if the guard cells are filled with water, they become turgid and open and give a small opening. Okay. If there is guard cells, means water is lost from the guard cells, or they are not filled with water, they become flaccid and closes. So the guard cells plays a very important, the filling of water in the inside or when the guard cells, so they play a very important role in opening and the closing of the stomach. And this is again an important 3 marks. They ask you to draw the diagram also. Do you understand? Any? Turgid means the guard cells will be bulged with water. Such a type are known as turgid guard cells. So they lose the water. When the water comes out, they just flap out and throw it. So with the bulge, what will happen? They come like this. If they become flaccid, they'll be like this. Like a, what we can say, like a cytotypes. The gas is there, what we very strong, and if the gas is gone, they just flap, no? In the same way. So in addition to this, usually the stomata, the small openings on the leaves, which are present in the lower epidermis, is known as stomata. In some plants, there will be small openings on the stem also. They are known as lenticels. Please write out. They have asked this as 1 mark question. The small openings on the stem, they perform the same function as the stomata. The small pores or openings on the stem are known as lenticels. 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 So this is your activity 6.1 and 6.2 in your textbook. This is the most commonly asked activity 6.1. So what is the activity here? To see whether starch test is for, what is the activity? To check the presence of starch in the leaves. So they have taken a variegated leaves. Variegated leaves means, like example, the money plant. One part will be green in color, some parts will be in yellowish color, in some leaves brown color may be present. So those are known as the variegated leaves. Okay, they have taken it and kept it dark for 3 days. Okay, and in sun, after that immediately in sunlight for few hours. Okay, so then they treated it with alcohol. So first by boiling in the alcohol and then by adding iodine solution. So what is the observation? Only the green part of the leaf will be turning into a blue color because iodine reacts with the starch solution. Okay, because starch is only present in the greener part of the leaf, whereas other part of the leaf, because it is kept in dark and also by boiling in alcohol, whatever the molecules or anything are present will be destroyed. Only the starch molecule cannot be destroyed. Okay, so when we add iodine, only the greener part of the leaf turns into the blue color. Okay, so by this experiment, we say only the green part of the leaf, the photosynthesis takes place and makes starch. Next one is 6.2. What it is? What is the experiment? Bring your textbooks from next time onwards. Next experiment 6.2. What is the aim of the experiment? I'm asking the aim. Whether what are the raw materials? To test the raw materials required for the photosynthesis. First one is, we told that the photosynthesis light is required and the starch is prepared only in this. Now, because we kept the leaf in the dark. First one is we test. Second one is to test the second raw material, that is carbon dioxide. So what they did is they kept the plant into, you can see over there, they kept the plant, two plants in a cage. Okay, one with the potassium, in one cage they have kept the potassium hydroxide, KOH. Whereas in other cage, they did not kept potassium hydroxide. What they observed is, after few days, what they have observed is, the plant which does not have potassium hydroxide, when they tested with iodine, it was able to turn blue in color because it was able to synthesize the starch. Whereas the plant which is kept with the potassium hydroxide, the leaves were not able to turn into blue color. Why is, you can see the reaction, the explanation or reaction, what happens is, the potassium hydroxide will be absorbing all the carbon dioxide present in the cage. Okay, so it will be absorbing all the carbon dioxide present in the cage and it will be converting into potassium carbonate and water. Okay, due to that, because the second raw material, carbon dioxide, is not available, it was not able to prepare any food or sugar molecule. So with this experiment, we were able to prove carbon dioxide is also another raw material required for the photosynthesis. Without carbon dioxide, there will be no photosynthesis. Understood? Any doubts? What is the time? So with this part, autotrophic nutrition is completed. So a small question answers are there at the back. No. Okay, in the next class, we'll start with heterotrophic nutrition and also complete the digestive system. This is a bigger chapter. Take 3 classes like this. Any doubts you have? Go home, read properly, because you have started early. You have a long academic year. So try to finish whatever they was taught on the day itself. If you have any doubts, you can ask me. Any doubts you have? Want me to slow down or go more faster? Some people are not answering. Maybe I say everybody. So what is their homework today? And also try all the diagrams of PS of the day, opening and closing of the structure. The next. Maybe I textbooks because you will be seeing if you want me to slow down, you can inform me. No, face is okay. Huh? We say, oh, there is only no next month. Wash your hands.